Hey, I'm Brian Van, SportBikeTrackHere.com, and today we're going to compare head-to-head the 3 full race gauntlet gloves from Racer Gloves. Okay, so with Racer Gloves, you have 3 full race models, right? On the surface, they're all pretty similar, and the price points are pretty similar. We have the Highracer at $249.99. We have the Highper at $259.99. And we have the Highspeed at $279.99. We've ridden in and raced in these two pair. Have not in that one, but obviously we have a lot of experience with all 3 models. The idea of this video is just to help you choose the one that's going to be best for you, because in the end, even with all of their similarities, there are some differences that could really impact your experience, right? Because we're all looking for different things. We all have different features and benefits that are more important to us. If you're racing, right, and the number one thing that you're concerned about, of course, with any one of these are all very protective. Let's just get this out of the way. They all kangaroo, cowhide, Knox palm sliders, right? Tons of protection. That's understood with each of the 3. If your number one feature is going to be dexterity and comfort, the Highper is going to be the one that's going to stand out a little bit above the other 2. Right out of the bag, these are the most comfortable of the 3. They're going to require basically 0 break-in. They offer a tremendous amount of dexterity here in the wrist, right? You're moving like this quite a bit when you're on the motorcycle. These are hardly any restriction in that area. And then a ton of feel in the fingers, while still having all the protection that you'd want. You got your palm sliders, you got your super fabric stuff here in the event of a low side, Kevlar lining on the inside, right? Carbon knuckle protector. You know, with that, there is maybe a tiny sacrifice of long-term durability, okay? If you're a rider who uses the same pair of gloves for many, many, many seasons, you need them to last as long as possible, survive as many crashes as possible. You can trade just a little bit of that when you improve upon the dexterity and the feel, right? With just the materials that are used and the overall design that is used. Max just had a fall in these at Laguna Seca, right? They held up great. It was a reasonable low side, and turn 8 at Laguna is going pretty fast. Let's just say the gloves held up a whole lot better than the motorcycle did. So that's the real standout with the Highper. It's also important to note that sizing with the Highper, these run one size smaller than marked. I wear a 2X in almost every common glove out there. I have to wear a 3X in this one. I'm wearing a 2X in the Highracer and a 2X in the Highspeed. Those both fit totally true to size. If you want feel, comfort, protection, of course, with very good dexterity, okay? But you want them to be just a little bit more robust, the Highspeed is going to be the way to go for you. When you slide your hand into these, they're close in dexterity to this, right? A little bit less in the wrist, you know, and you can kind of see that with the glove too. We have a little more padding and thickness here, so a little more protection possibly in that area, but you're going to trade away, you know, just a little bit of that dexterity. That being said, this glove's amazing. The amount of feel and comfort from these is great. I have a pair that I've ridden in quite a bit, really enjoy the gloves. In the palm, everything just feels more robust. The feel in the fingers is good, but the feel in the fingers of the Highper is just a little bit better. So the main difference between these two, you trade off a little bit of dexterity from the 2 models, but you pick up what's going to appear to be maybe a little more durability over the long haul and a little more robust, the possibility of getting multiple crashes if you're a real crasher and you need them to last for sure more than one. You know, these are better suited, I would say, towards that. And of course, every crash is different. Some crash, it's a good crash, it'll just eat a brand new pair of gloves if it's that type of crash. Now the Highracer, this one picks up a little bit more of the dexterity here in the wrist, get a little closer to what we've got with the Highper, okay? We're picking up the protection for the ulna, right? Kind of making up for the lack of thickness here with that carbon protector, so that's pretty cool, right? The fit of the glove and the overall feel of the glove is very similar to the Highspeed. I would say out of the bag, the Highspeed's a little bit more comfortable. That being said, you ride in these a bit, they're going to break in and feel just great. The entry and exit of this glove is a little more narrow when you're sliding in. You can see right there, there's an accordion panel that's used, and you kind of, when you slide in, you kind of need to overcome that. You know, where these just, it's less, right? It's a little larger opening, it feels like, if that's important to you. Still have the overlay palm sliders. One of the biggest difference with this glove is going to be the overlay they're using here. It's a completely different material. A ton of that injected silicone grip is being used. That's going to help keep the service life of the glove higher, and they're also, it's the only one of the three that's using that patch in the fingers, where if you're a two-finger breaker, most people are, use two fingers on the clutch, most people do. It's just going to allow for more applications of that control lever without wearing on the tip of the glove. You know, you put, even without crashing, multiple seasons of riding on a glove, a lot of miles, they can over time for sure start to wear in that area. Because you got to remember with your gloves, they're always getting a little bit sweaty when you're riding, no doubt. You know, you got to take care and how you store them away. You want to leave them out. Don't put them in a bag or something so they're just in there just with all the moisture. Just kind of let them air dry out in the open on their own so they dry slowly, right? That helps keep the service life a little bit higher. But if you're a high mileage rider, you want something to go as far as you can, that's one area where the Highracer stands out as compared to the other two. They just simply used different material and then added those two patches in that area. At the end of the day, I've worn, ridden in, raced in, crashed in more gloves than most people could imagine, right? And gotten to compare them head to head. One thing I can tell you is all three of these are excellent. I hope this video, if you're one of those riders who's just trying to navigate your way through, hey, these are all so close in price, they look so similar, trying to navigate your way through that, I hope this helps you choose the right model for you. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments section of this video. I answer all that stuff myself, and I'm here to help you choose the right Racer race glove for your next ride.